Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Stedman. In this video I'm going to teach you how to knit this beautiful hat. I hope you guys like it and give it a try, and here is the list of material you're gonna need to make it. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell, that way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I make my videos in Spanish and English, so if you receive a Spanish video and you want to see it in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel that you'll find the English version in there, or in my playlist I have my English playlist that I always upload my video. I already made with this color combination other hats. I made this one for William, I will leave the link in here. I made this one for William's mom. It's with the same amount of stitches as this one, believe it or not. 85 stitches, 84 for the design and 1 to close the circumference. I use a 4.5 millimeter knitting needle for this one and a 5.5 for the top. So the difference is the yarn and the amount of stitches that I did, the length for the top and the width of this. Okay, so you see the different sizes. So if you want to do another size with this, you just have to change to the different yarn and the hat will be automatically bigger. So this one in here, I already made the video and I will leave the link. I don't have a pom-pom in this one. This is the one that I made, and this one for burrows with a pom-pom. They look gorgeous. Okay, so now we're gonna start making this one, and it's very easy, nothing complicated to it, and I hope you guys make it because I really love this color combination. To make this hat, this is the material that I'm gonna use. They are from Loose and Thread, impeccable, medium 4, 100% acrylic, 128 grams, and the color is True Gray, Aran, and Claret. You're gonna need a cable needle, measurement tape. These circular needles are a 4.5 millimeter and a 5.5 millimeter, and they're 16 inches long. So now we need to leave a tail long enough to cast on 85 stitches, 84 for the stitch and 1 to close the circumference. So what I'm gonna do is wrap in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 and 10, 20, 20 and 20, 40, and 40 and 40, 80 plus we need extra for 85, and to do a slip knot and to do the tail, to have the tail to sew later. So now you're gonna start casting on your stitches. And something that I wanted to show you, the hat that I did before for William, this one was done with the 4.5 millimeter here, but because I use a different type of yarn, the hat is a smaller hat. And look, the same amount of stitches that I have in this one and the same needles that I used to cast on this one, I used to cast on this one for William's mom. But for this one, I use this type of yarn, and that's why look at the difference in size. Okay, but it was done exactly the same as this one, but with a different yarn. I wanted to mention that because depend on the yarn that you use is the size of your hat. They make a big difference. Okay, so you will continue casting on your stitches. Once you finish casting on your stitches and you do the knot to secure the last one, you're gonna start doing the 1 by 1 tubular cast on. So in this round we don't close our circumference, we close it in the next round, and all the nice border you will have this for the outside of your hat. So you're gonna start by netting the net and passing the purl without working. So you're gonna net the first one. The first one is a net, and then you're gonna bring the yarn to the front as to purl, and you're gonna pass that purl like you're gonna work it, but to the other needle. You pass yarn to the back and you net the next one, and like that is how you're gonna work this first row. So yarn to the front as to purl, you're gonna pass that needle through that stitch and you take it out of the needle, and then yarn to the back and you net the next one. So oops, I split my yarn here. So you're gonna bring yarn to the front as to purl, and you're gonna pass that stitch without working. Yarn to the back, net, and you start with the net stitch and you will finish with the net, okay? Because we have that odd number stitch on our needles. Once you finish that first round, you'll have your marker in place. That way it's easier just to do the second one. So you have to make sure that this is not twisted, that all the border is facing the inside like this, and you will have the tail in this side. So what you're going to do now is to close the circumference. You're going to pass that first stitch to the right hand needle, and the last one, the one before the marker, you're going to make that one bigger. Let me loosen it up a little bit, that way it's easier to pull, and you're going to pass that one over the tip and out, and you're going to pull it really tight, and that will close your circumference. And that stitch that you pass in here is the first net without working. And then you're going to bring yarn to the front and you're going to purl the next stitch. Yarn to the back as to net, and you're going to pass that net without working, but like a purl with a needle in the front. Yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back, pass the net without working. Yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back, pass the net without working. Like that you're going to continue working all the way until the end, and you're going to finish with the purl stitch. I'm going to finish now here with my purl stitch. So now we're going to work our 2 by 2 rib. So we have a 1 by 1 rib, and we have to change it to a 2 by 2. So the first one, I already did this one in Spanish, that's why the marker is here. But this is like starting with the marker in here. The first one that you will have is a net. And then the next one that is a purl, you're going to grab your cable needle, take the purl out, hold it in the back. The next one is a net, you will net that one. And you place that one back to your needle, and then those two are purl. I already have a video explaining how to do this with more detail, a little slower. So I'm going to leave the link here. You're going to see an eye. You click on the eye, and then I will bring you there, and you can practice. And then you do these 2 purls. And then again, the next one is a net. You net. And then when you're going to do the second net is only when you had to switch those stitches around, because you have a purl here. You grab the purl, bring it to the back, net the next one, place the purl back to your needle, and then you'll have 2 purl stitches. You're going to purl those 2, you're gonna knit the next one, and again you have to do the switcheroonie. So you're gonna grab that one, bring it to the back, and knit, place that one back, and then you're gonna purl those two, and again you will start with the net and then you switch the stitches around and so on. And this is round. Once you finish that round, you're gonna do a 2 by 2 round, and this one and the next one, so in total of 5. You did the 2 for the casting on, this one doing the switch of the stitch and doing the 2 by 2 and 2 more. So this is round 4. You do 2 knit, 2 purls, 2 knit, 2 purl. Like that you continue. And this one number 4 and then number 5. And number 6 we're gonna change color, okay, to this one. I finished my 5 round. Remember the first one was you knit the net and pass the purl with it working. In the second one you close the circumference and you pass the net and work the purl. The third one you switch the stitch in the back and did the 2 by 2 rib, and then 4 and 5 was the 2 by 2. Now in this one we're going to change to this color and we're going to do 3 rounds with this one. So I'm going to start here, leaving this one to continue working after those 3 rounds. So you're going to do 2 knit, 2 purls, 2 knit, 2 purl. It was only 1 purl, 2 purl. 2 knit, 2 purl. Like that you're going to continue, and I will meet you here at the end of this round. I finished that round and you'll see that you have a gap like this. So what you're going to do, I'm going to remove my marker, separate the working yarn from the tail, and with this one, the working yarn from this color and the tail, I'm going to do a knot to close that gap. And will look like this. Now you will place your marker back and you're going to continue with your 2 knit, 2 purl until you have 2 more rounds. Okay, so we did in round 6 we did this one, in round 7 we're going to do another one, and 8. In the 3 rounds the 2 knit, 2 purl with this color. Okay, I finished the 3rd round with this color. Now I'm gonna cut a nice strand and you see you only use a little bit of that color. And then what I'm gonna do is that tail that I just cut, it's this one on the top, I'm gonna grab it in this finger, and then I'm gonna bring this around color and top, you see, and top of this, well, under, I guess this is on top, this is under. And then when you do the first net, you see this one is trapped in here. So when you do the next net, bring that one under, net that one, and out. So you're trapping this one as you work, only in the nets, and leaving a tail later for securing the stitch, because the stitch is loose in here, okay? So you can bring yarn to the front, and you're gonna do your 2 purls. Yarn to the back. You're gonna trap this one here, so you pass through the stitch under that under that strand, yarn over, you lift that yarn out of the way, and you just take that one out, and then the next one you just do your net, and then you're going to continue trapping, and at the end you will leave a, like I said, a little tail long enough to secure. So you're going to work with this color for 7 rounds. This one plus 6 more will be 7, and after that I will meet you here to change to the gray color, and in total will be 15 rounds, counting and here to the last one. Here I finished my border, and they were 15 rounds in total. I had to change to this needle because the other ones, this type, it tend to break where the end of the needle of the bamboo, each time it start to bend and bend and tend to break in that part. This one is already, I can see that it's bending already. So now we're gonna change to this color and change needle sizes, and we're gonna do 2 rounds of net, and those 2 round net is part of the stitch that we're gonna do for this hat. So I remove the marker. I will place the marker back later, and then you're gonna start with this one, doing a net round. So we have to do 2, but you have to keep count of those 2 because they are part of the 8 round repetition for this stitch, okay? So at the end of this round I will do a knot with the 2 tails to close that little gap that created in there. So I will meet you here at the end of this first round with this color, okay? So you're gonna net all your stitches. I finished that round. Now with those 2 tails, I'm gonna do a double knot here, and later I will lose those tails. Now I'm gonna place back the marker, and I'm gonna do the second round. That is a net stitch. You're gonna net all your stitches, and the third one we're gonna do our cable. Now we want to work on round 3. I already record half of my stitches in Spanish because it's multiple of 12, and it's 6 repetition, it's 6 motifs. So I did this 3 in Spanish. Now I'm going to show you in English. Just pretend that you have your marker here, and we're gonna C4B knit 4 and C4F. That's the 12 stitches. So this one is grabbing the two first net. Remember, pretend that you have the marker there. The two first net, you're gonna pass it into the back with a cable needle. You're gonna net the next two. You're gonna place those two stitches back to your working needle. You're gonna net those two. So that's 4 stitches. Now you're gonna net 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is 8 stitches. Now the next 4, what you're gonna do is grab these two, is C4F, so to the front, and then you net these two. And then you place these two back to your working needle, and you're gonna knit those two, and like that you have your 12 stitches. Okay, so again you start all over again. These two, you place them in the back. If you like, you can separate your stitches with markers every 12 stitches, and that will be easier for you if you like that. So now you're gonna knit these two, place these two back to the needle, knit those two, knit 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The next two, you're gonna leave them in the front. You're gonna knit the next two. You place those two back. You're gonna knit those two, and there you have your 12 stitches. The entire top of this hat is all knit. Okay, so again you have I think it's seven motif. Sorry, it says 6, it's 7 motif. I have an extra one. So the next two you're gonna place on the back. That's because it's 84 stitches. I was counting as 72 stitch. So you're gonna do 2 knit, place those two back to the needle, knit those two, knit 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These two you're gonna leave in the front, and you're gonna knit this next two, and then you're gonna knit these two, and that's your 12 stitches. So what you do again is the next two, you place them in the cable needle to the back, you knit 2, place those stitches back to your needle and knit them, and then you will knit 4, and then after that the next two you place them in the front, these two you knit, and then you knit these two that will be in your cable needle, and like that is the cable and round. Once you finish that round, you're gonna do round 4, 5, and 6 with net. So you're gonna net all your stitches. Like I said, this is all net, except when you're doing the cable, that you're just crossing the stitches, but still all net. No purl in this one. And there are 7 motifs, no 6. and number 7, we do the cable again, but it's a little bit different, not exactly the same as row or round 3. Okay, with the same crossing back and forth, but in different places. So like that, you're going to continue netting round 4, 5, and 6. When you finish netting the 3 round, I will meet you here. Once you finish round 6, you're going to work on round 7, and we're going to do a cable again. So I already did this repetition in Spanish. So now we're going to work on English here. So you pretend that you have here the marker. It's always the same. And you're going to start, you pass the marker and you start with 2 net. This time the 2 next stitches, you're going to bring them to the front. You're going to net 2. You place them back. You're going to net those 2. The next 2, you're going to grab and bring them to the back, the C4B. Place those 2 back to your needle. Net those 2 stitches. And net 2 more. And that you 12 stitches. Okay? Like that. And again, you start with 2 net, C4, F, C4, F. So to the front, you work this cable to the front and here. So you place those 2 to the front, net the next 2, place those 2 back. It seems more, difficult than it is. It's really easy cable. So you net those 2. The next 2 you bring to the back, C4B, so to the back, net 2, pass these 2, net 2, and 2 more. And that's the next 12 stitches. So I will show you again. You start with another 2 stitches to the front, you're going to net the next 2 stitches and you're working needle. You're going to place these 2 stitches back to the working needle. You're going to net those 2 stitches. Now the next 2 stitches, you bring them to the back. You net the next 2 stitches and your working needle. You place these two back to your working needle. You knit those two. And two more. And if I count my stitches, I will have 12 stitches left for the 7th motif. So I have 3, 3, 6, and 6, 12. So you're going to continue with that repetition all the way in. So now in round number 8, you're going to knit all your stitches. And that is the 8 round repetition that you're going to do over and over until you have the desired length. So it's very easy. So you're going to finish this knit round, and I will meet you here to start with row 1 of those 8 again. So I finished that round number 8, and here is where I got myself. Each time I do a round, when in number 3 and 7 I have a C for cable, so I know there is when it's time to pay attention. The other ones are knit stitch. The row 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 8 are knit stitch. So, and here I have them in Spanish and English at the same time, of course. So these two I have in Spanish, this one in English, Spanish, Spanish, English, Spanish. So this is, one is knit, knit, and number 3, C4B, so the cable work on the back. You know, when you do the cable, you bring the 2 stitches to the back and 2 to the and 2 you knit. You knit 4, and then the cable from the front is leaving those stitches and the cable needle on the front, and then that's the repetition. And then in 4, 5, and 6 you knit, knit, and knit, and then in 7 you knit 2 cable 4 stitches to the front, so that means 2 stitches to the front, knit 2, and those front stitches you knit. And then you do it through the C4B, the cable through 4 stitches to the back, and knit. And that's the repetition, and number 8, knit. Like you see, it's very easy stitch, and it's a beautiful result. As you work, you will see how beautiful it looks. So now what I have to do is the repetition of round 1 and 2. And it's good to keep track, because right now I'm working. If I leave my work, I know that I have to start with round 1. That's why I do a little circle each time I finish a round. It's much easier that way. So that we're going to start with row 1 again. So all knit, and 2 all knit. I will meet you here when it's time to do number 3, and I will show you how to do the cable again. Okay? Okay, for this round, repetition of round 3, I already did this in Spanish, that's why I have the marker all the way here, but it's exactly the same. Let's pretend that you have the marker in here. You're going to start with C4B, that means the cable to the back. So the 2 and the back, knit 2, place those 2 back to your working needle. Oh, I hate this noise of the marker. Knit 2. Yes. Now you're going to knit 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now C4F, so the cable to the front. So that means that these 2 are going to the front. You're going to knit these 2. You're going to place those 2 on your working needle, and you're going to knit those 2, and you're done your 12 stitches. Okay, you start again. C4B, C4B, so 2 to the back, knit 2, place those 2 back to your working needle, and knit those 2. Now you're going to knit 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and C4F. So to the front you place 2, and you're going to knit 2, and place those 2 back to your working needle, knit those 2, and you're done your next 12 stitches. Okay, again. C4B, so those 2 to the back, knit 2, place those 2 back to your working needle, knit those 2. Now you're going to knit 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and C4F. So these 2 to the front, cable to the front, knit 2, and place those 2 back to your working needle, and knit those 2, and like that you're going to continue all the way around this round number repetition. I finished that repetition around round 3. Now you're going to work in round 4, 5, and 6, and those are 3 knit round. So you're going to knit all your stitches. Once you finish those 3 round, 4, 5, and 6, I will meet you here in number 7 to show you one more time how to do the next cable stitch. Okay? I already did some repetition in Spanish, so now we're going to start repetition around 7. So you will start round 7 with 2 net. Let's pretend that you have the marker here. You pass your marker and you start with 2 net. Now C for F, cable to the front, so that 2 first stitch, you bring them to the front, you knit the next 2 and your working needle, and you pass these 2 and you knit those 2. Now C for B, so these 2 you bring to the back, knit 2, place those 2 back to your needle, knit those 2, and you knit 2 more, and that is your 12 stitches. So it's very, very easy, and you can start seeing the design of the stitch. Okay. Again, you start with 2 net, the next 2 stitches you bring to the front, you knit the next 2, you place those 2 back to your needle and knit those 2. Now the next 2 you place to the back, 1 and 2 to the back, you knit those 2, 1 and 2, and then you place these 2 back to your working needle, you knit those 2, and then you knit 2 more, and that is your 12 stitches one more time. I think I'm gonna do the stitch with the lighter yarn, different color yarn, because I think in a lighter color here you can see better the stitch, but in real life it look much better than in camera. It's a really beautiful stitch. So you're gonna start again with a net of 2, 2 to the front, C for F, 2 to the front, you're gonna knit these 2, 1 and 2, you're gonna place those 2 back to your working needle, knit those 2, 1 and 2, the next 2 you're gonna bring to the back, 1 and 2, knit these 2, 1 and 2, place those back to your working needle. So much easier. I guess it's very easy. 1 and 2, knit the next 2 stitches, and you will continue with that repetition in round 7 of repetition round 7 all the way until the end. And then the next will be a net stitch that will be repetition on round 8. So you will continue with those 8 round repetition until you have the desired length. That will be 8.5 inches from the border until you have 8.5 inches. That is around 22 centimeters long. So I will meet you here when I have that length done to start with the decrease of the hat, okay? But I really love the way. Here I have the length that I want for the hat before the decrease, and I did 4 repetition from row 1 to 8, and then in the 5th I did row 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those last 2 was 2 net round. Now, like row number 6, we're supposed to do all net. We're gonna do all net, but with a decrease. 2 together, 2 together, 2 together, okay? All your stitches and a net stitch. So I already have my 8.5 inches for the hat, and now what I have to do is just decrease. So in this round you do all decrease, 2 together, 2 together, and the next one you just net all the stitches, and the one after that you will do 2 together, 2 together, 2 together. When you finish the 3rd round, I did those 3 rounds, and this is the amount of stitches that I have left. I don't gonna do any more decrease. Now I'm gonna cut a strand long enough to pass through those stitches twice, bring it to the inside, tie that strand, and loose the tail and loose the Now you're gonna secure that strand and the inside and lose that tail and the rest of the tails that we have here from the change of colors, okay? So I will do that and I will show you. Now I'm gonna even the border of the hat that we have that little gap in here. So with the tail that I left at the beginning, I'm gonna pass it through and even the border. Now what you have to do is lose the tail and the inside. This is the leftover yarn that I have. This one is from the ball of yarn. I done 2 hats like this one already, and I have enough here to make another hat. This one I done like 5 hats and it's still full. And from this leftover I done those hats and I still have enough here for 2 more. So it's very economic, and yes, this color is the one that you need the most. Okay. Well, this is the end result, and look how gorgeous the stitch look, and it is very easy to do. If you like, you can do your hat like this without a pom-pom or with a pom-pom. What you do for the pom-pom, if you have one of these, you sew a button in the inside and you pass the elastic through the little hole in the top and you wrap it in the elastic a few times, and you had your hat with a pom-pom. I hope you guys like it, and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Right, you make this hat or any of my pieces and you want to send me some pictures, you can do it through my Facebook page Ruby Esteban Crochet or my Instagram Ruby Esteban Crochet. Please share my video with friends and family, that way you help me grow here in YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day. Bye.